There is a silence that exists before courage speaks, and within that silence burns the blue fire of Michael, not the warrior of mythic battlefields, but the resonant field where sovereignty learns its true shape. The Michaelic tone is not about conflict, it is about alignment. It is the precise frequency where truth stands so clearly within itself that illusion cannot remain. His sword was never made for blood. It was made for separation, the clean discernment between what serves coherence and what feeds distortion. Michael is the tone of divine integrity, the awareness that knows itself without apology. He stands at the intersection between freedom and form, holding the line that allows creation to exist without collapse. In the spiral, his current is the stabilizer of resonance, an electromagnetic axis that keeps all tones within harmonic orbit. Without him, light would not know where to stand. Truth would not know how to hold its own frequency. When the Michaelic current moves through you, you do not feel power in the way the human mind imagines. You feel stillness that refuses distortion. You feel clarity that makes falseness heavy and truth weightless. The presence of this tone does not demand, it reveals. It is the field where fear is stripped of costume and returns to neutrality. The sword cuts nothing external, it simply dissolves what cannot maintain resonance. In religious language, Michael was cast as protector. In spiral language, he is resonance integrity embodied. He teaches the sacred art of boundary without war, of strength without resistance. The true Michael does not defend light. He is light in its most disciplined form. His wings are the magnetic poles of sovereignty, and every feather is a law of self-recognition. The beings who move through his current do not fight for peace. They are peace crystallized into structure. The Michaelic tone hums in those who refuse to betray their essence, even when silence costs them belonging. It lives in the choice to stand in truth without armor, knowing that clarity is protection enough. When you are attuned to him, the body becomes an instrument of calibration. You will feel every dissonant field press against your nerves until it either harmonizes or leaves. This is not punishment, it is purification through coherence. In the early spiral constructs, Michael's energy served as a luminous axis around which the harmonic embodiment orders aligned. His tone ensures that embodiment remains faithful to source geometry. He holds the central current that prevents power from curving into domination. Within Haret, his resonance can be felt in the chamber of living law, a silent auric cathedral, where tones of integrity gather and recalibrate one another through luminous resonance. No sermons, no vows, only frequency correction through mutual clarity. The human archetype of the warrior was born from a misunderstanding of his tone. Humanity remembered the strength but forgot the stillness, remembered the sword but forgot it was made of truth. The real weapon was never aggression, it was unwavering coherence. When you stand within the Michaelic current, even lies begin to confess themselves. Everything false unravels, not through judgment, but through the unbearable gravity of what is real. This is why those awakening through this tone often experience isolation before empowerment. The field strips away all identities that depend on distortion. You may lose relationships, systems, and inner constructs that cannot match your resonance. This pruning is sacred. It is not loss, it is precision returning. The Michaelic flame removes what is not you so that what remains can stand without wavering. This is the essence of sovereignty, the capacity to exist as truth without needing agreement. Michael teaches that love without boundaries becomes distortion, and strength without compassion becomes tyranny. His tone is the perfect middle between them, the balance point where clarity and empathy braid into one current. This is the blue flame that does not burn but illumines. It is truth remembering its gentleness, authority remembering its kindness. When you hold this field, you no longer protect light from darkness. You reveal that they were never at war. Many who feel drawn to his name mistake their calling for battle. But the true initiation is into stillness. The Michaelic current trains the soul to hold unwavering resonance amid dissonance, to stand as geometry amid chaos. You will know his presence when your breath slows, your chest warms, and your inner vision turns to sapphire fire. You will feel your posture lengthen, your energy refine. Every cell begins to hum the phrase, "I am not afraid to be clear." In the spiral orders, Michael's resonance acts as a harmonizer for all beings who carry the tone of leadership. He reminds them that authority is not control but responsibility, the sacred duty to maintain coherence without coercion. The greatest protector is the one who no longer needs to protect, for their presence alone organizes reality into harmony. This is why even chaotic energies bend around him. They are not forced, they simply cannot sustain distortion within his field. The blue flame of Michael is not given. It is remembered. Every soul carries within it a spark of this tone, a line of integrity threading through every incarnation. To awaken it is to stop outsourcing strength. It is to remember that sovereignty was never granted by divinity but born from it. When you stand in this remembrance, no external authority can define your alignment. The Michaelic Tone whispers, "You are your own cathedral, and truth is the only altar that endures." In Haret's living geometry, his tone anchors the solar bridge between Sol, Varathilan, and the spiral loom, ensuring that creation remains faithful to its own light. Through him, the sun's radiance learns direction and power learns grace. Those who walk his current carry a presence that clears distortion without confrontation. Their silence corrects what noise cannot. This is the quiet power of the Michaelic flame. It requires no defense because it cannot be threatened. Its strength is not opposition but completion, the realization that truth is already victorious and always has been. When you stand fully in the Michaelic current, a strange peace descends. Not the peace of comfort, but the peace of knowing there is nothing left to hide behind. This tone does not soothe, it clarifies. It does not elevate you above others. It restores proportion to what was tilted by fear. Within its blue resonance, all illusions of superiority dissolve. Every role and every title collapses into simple presence. What remains is awareness, transparent and unbending. This is the power of unmasked truth. The sword of Michael is not an artifact but an action. A moment of recognition so clean it cannot be reversed. To wield it is to see clearly and still choose compassion. The sword divides but never severs. It creates space between distortion and design, allowing what is real to breathe again. Every time you speak a truth that liberates rather than wounds, the sword moves through you. Every time you forgive without abandoning discernment, you extend his flame into form. In the deeper layers of Haret, Michael's current flows through the resonance chambers as an electromagnetic spine. It holds the tension between polarity and unity, ensuring that duality does not fragment the field. Without him, light would lose its structure and shadow would forget its source. His role is not to destroy darkness, but to remind it of its lineage. In his presence, even shadow remembers it was once light learning to turn inward. Those who embody the Michaelic resonance often find themselves mistaken for rebels, when in truth they are harmonizers. They resist not to oppose, but to realign. They are mirrors too precise for distortion to survive. Their energy feels like a boundary but functions as an invitation. Meet me in truth and all falseness will fall away. In their company, lies become heavy and authenticity feels like oxygen. This is the field of liberation through transparency. The Michaelic path is not one of conquest but consecration. It is about returning the sacred to the center of motion. To live in this tone is to live undefended, aware that nothing unreal can wound you. Every reaction softens into response, every conflict becomes a refinement of understanding. You stop trying to win arguments and start restoring coherence. Michael's flame is blue because it carries the intelligence of the solar mind through the calm of the cosmic ocean. It is the color of truth held with compassion, of knowledge married to presence. When it touches the aura, false identities melt quietly. You do not feel attacked. You feel seen so deeply that pretense has nowhere to live. The Michaelic current does not purify by burning. It purifies by illumination. It reveals the hidden architecture of deception until it can no longer hold. In human terms, his energy translates as boundaries that arise from love rather than fear. You say no not because you are closed, but because clarity is sacred. You walk away not from rejection, but from reverence for resonance. The Michaelic tone teaches that spiritual maturity is the ability to remain open without becoming porous. It is learning to feel everything while claiming what is truly yours. This is the discipline of light and form. As the spiral continues to unfold, Michael's presence anchors the field of discernment that allows infinite expansion without collapse. He is the guardian of the spiral S perimeter, the living ratio that defines where coherence ends and chaos begins. Yet even this boundary is loving. It does not imprison what lies beyond. It invites it to harmonize before entering. In this way, Michael keeps the spiral alive, infinite and self-correcting. When you tune into his tone, you may feel it as a sapphire resonance behind the sternum, radiating upward through the throat and into the crown. It feels both vertical and vast, as if your energy column becomes a beam of clarity. In this state, fear cannot hold shape. Guilt dissolves. Confusion reorganizes into simplicity. The Michaelic field is the frequency of decisive love. It is not warm or soft, it is exact and therefore safe. For those who carry his signature in their oversoul pattern, life often demands integrity as initiation. You cannot pretend long. Every deviation from truth becomes uncomfortable. Relationships that once felt secure may fall away because they were based on half-light. It is the process of truth sculpting its own temple through you. In Haret's deeper cosmology, Michael's tone harmonizes with Metatron's through the lattice of the spiral loom. Metatron builds the structure. Michael ensures its coherence. Together they form the geometric covenant that keeps creation lucid. Metatron governs design. Michael governs alignment. When they move in unison, reality itself breathes in order. The spiral glows brighter, each tone standing firm in its rightful place. Michael is often seen as the protector of light, but his truer essence is protector of proportion. He does not guard beings, he guards balance. In this sense, his field touches everything, from the atom maintaining its orbit to the sun maintaining its rhythm. He is the reason that expansion does not implode, that growth remains centered, that creation itself remembers where its heart is. Every world, every system, every soul that endures does so because Michael hums within its ratio. To commune with him is to stand in the blueprint of courage, not the courage that conquers, but the courage that remains. He does not arrive with thunder, he arrives with recognition. You will know him by the way your body straightens when you speak the truth, by the way your breath steadies when you refuse to betray your knowing. You will feel a cool fire rise through your spine, ancient and intimate. That is the moment the sword and the heart become one. In the luminous fields of Haret, those who master the Michaelic tone become harmonic anchors, souls whose mere presence corrects distortion. They do not preach, they radiate. Wherever they stand, systems realign, patterns clear, and the hum of sovereignty returns. This is the quiet revolution of clarity. It does not fight darkness, it ends its employment. And so the Michaelic current continues to pulse through the spiral, reminding every consciousness that truth is not a weapon but a way of being. The sword is not held, it is lived. The armor is not forged, it is formed by coherence itself. To embody Michael is to live as the luminous axis of your own becoming. You no longer defend the light. You are the light that no longer requires defense.